TitleMatchNetwork.com.
In 1989, Ultimate Warrior came in. And Vince gave the ball to Warrior. What was the vibe in the locker room about pushing Ultimate Warrior, considering he's a horrible worker, he just had the good look?
It was just that. Here was a guy who has given a lot of lip service over the years to wanting to become a great worker. That was never the truth. Jim Hellwig used the wrestling business. It was a means to an end. Jim Hellwig, to his credit, tremendously dedicated to keeping his body in shape. That's about it. Jim was for Jim, for the most part, from what I could tell. I personally never had a problem with him, and I'll tell you why. Because when he first came in the business, he came to the Mid-South with Sting.
Right.
And some of the first few matches he had, he was in the ring with me. And I was leading him around by his nose. And, assuring him that I was there to make him. I was there to do what was good for business, not what was good for Ted. And I did that. So he trusted me. But there were so many times that I had heard him say, yeah, I really want to learn how to work, but I never saw him really try to learn how to work. And he never did. I mean, he looked great. They'd play his music. He'd run to the ring. He'd run around the ring. He'd shake the ropes, and the show was over.
Right.
Because everything that happened from then was just, it was the same. If you've seen it once, you've seen it. What I thought was exceptional, and it was an exceptional effort on Hulk Hogan's part, was the match that they had when Hulk dropped the belt.
Right.
I really did. I was very emotional when I watched that, because it was, it was a major change, a major shift in power, and it was one I didn't agree. I told Vince that too. Well, I'll tell you what I told Vince. I said, Vince, I said, I think you're creating a monster. I said, because I don't begrudge anybody getting a break. But I got a real problem with a guy getting a break who doesn't appreciate it. A guy who's getting a break who doesn't appreciate what he's been given or the people that are making him who he is. And I said, this guy's a monster. I see how he acts in public. I see how he treats people. I've seen him make stewardesses, flight attendants cry. I've seen him tell kids to just, F off.
Is he as crazy as everybody says he is, basically?
Can be. And I don't know if a lot of that was, drugs he was taking, right. Steroids, I don't know. And can I verify that he took any of those things? No, I don't know. I speculate like everybody else. Well, he sure looks awful good. But I just didn't see a guy that appreciated what he was given. And of course, Vince's response to me at the time was, you know what, Ted, he's my monster. I can handle him. Which was that was Vince's ego speaking. Well, I never went up to Vince and said, I told you so.
Right.
But when he held him up in the garden, I had an opportunity to go up and say, Vince, I told you so. But my understanding, he actually held him up again.
Yeah, when he came back.
When he came back.
Right.
That's just, first time, shame on me. Shame on you. Second time, shame on me. Of course, at that time, I think that for Vince to bring him back when he did the second time, I think it was more a move of desperation. But I had a real problem with trying to create something in somebody that had no more skill than he did. And again, I don't know, maybe, maybe by that point, Vince just thought that he could create anybody, you know, like it's not you and your talent, it's just all me. I have no idea why he would do that, you know, unless it was a statement of his ego. And I don't know. I mean, and I think that Vince would even tell you that there, between the first big run and the second big run, you know, there came a point where, you know, you got to where you couldn't just, you know, he wasn't listening to people anymore. He was just doing what he thought, you know, like everything I do is going to be, you know, perfect.